I am Decathlon Gamer, and this is Draft Day Sports College Basketball 2019. It's episode number 61 in the series. We've been going at this for a while, but we're also getting awfully close now. Awfully close. So we have a 22-3 overall record. We're 9-3 in Conference A. Our RPI, 4th in the nation, and we are currently ranked 3rd in the nation. Duke is on top, so it's not like we're top dogs here, but we are very competitive this year. Very competitive. Our goal is to win the national championship. That's how much the board thinks of us at the moment, and win the conference tournament. 20-plus games, we've already done that. Right now, there's no academic ineligibility, and looks like we could be on our way to improving school prestige, but you never know. Let's take a look at a couple things before we get into the final 4 games of the regular season, which we'll play a little bit quickly through those so we can get into the conference tournament. Duke, number 1, 2 games ahead of us, but we are clear number 2 right now. Cincinnati, our opponent in this next game, is actually at number 3. A win at home against Cincinnati would put us 2 games ahead of everybody else in that chase group, giving us a really good position going forward towards the end of the season. But of course, there is no promotion anymore, so that whole getting top 3 or top 4 doesn't matter as much. It's all about seeding for the conference tournament. Top 2 is now that key objective. Top 2 get the bye. Top 4 get a bye, actually, but it still puts you in a better place. Better place, stronger place. In terms of RPI, Duke is number 1. Oregon is number 5. And we are number 4. Kansas is number 10, but those are the only teams in the top 10. You can see that everybody outside of Michigan State are in the top 100. Duke's won 9 straight games now. We are 13-1 at home. And the last thing we're going to take a look at here take a look at a few Conference A stats. One player scoring 20 plus per game. Al Morrison 5th in assists in the league. Jim Ross is 6th in rebounds. Cougar is 10th. It's a good combination. Ross is 6th in blocks. Ross is 3rd in steals. Morrison 13th. A couple guys shooting the ball pretty well. Morrison 2.6 turnovers. Not bad, just on the list. There's our efficiency. Ross all the way up at 7th. And Cougar is 17th. Double doubles. Ross 3rd in the league. Cougar is 8th. No triple doubles this season. I've still yet to have a triple double as a team. In the history of this series, never once have I had a triple double. We do have Charles Kennedy with a sprained wrist, 5 days left. We've already got our guys signed up. I had just 3, right? Yes. And that GPA, how we look at 2.7 for Kennedy. It's not great. Brooker's at 2.4. What's going on, dude? Take care of your grades, please. Please, oh please. He's already been given this task on the ends on the 15th. That was yesterday. My bad. I already called him before I started this episode. Well, let's get to it then. Let's get to it. So here we go. Cincinnati. I'm going to quick sit in these last 4 games of the season so we can get into the conference tournament. We've got a good seed at this point. We'll see if we can hold that up, if we can improve that. We can really make a big statement with a win over Cincinnati in this game. And we do it. 65-47, 18-point victory over the Bearcats. Al Morrison, 14 points, 8 assists in this game. A plus 23 by Morrison. And we did it on just 34% shooting, but they only shot 30%. Plus 10 on rebounds. The advantage is 4 on the fouls. Plus 4 on turnovers. That'll do it. That'll do it. Meanwhile, Duke wins at Oregon. Big win for them. Syracuse losing to Nevada. Florida upsetting Kansas. Memphis upsetting North Carolina. Maryland upsetting Wake Forest. Notre Dame beats up on Michigan State at home, but Michigan State's the worst team this year. And Miami beating Stanford on the road. But only a couple games really going the way they are supposed to. And with 3 to play, we're now plus 2 over everybody below us. And next up, though, top 10 matchup with Nevada. Nevada at 18-8. It's another home game, though. Really excited about the progress we've made this season. And I'm looking forward to next season, too, with a strong recruiting class coming in. It flashed by, but I didn't catch our score. By the time I saw the logo, the score had passed before I can get my eyes to adjust and pick it up. But it is a win, whatever it is. So 2 huge victories this week. Can't do anything but help our RPI and overall rank. Stays 3rd. The RPI moves up to 3rd. Oregon stays 5th, actually, after losing to Duke. So no change in the top of the standings. In fact, most of the standings is all exactly the same. 68-61. Ross, 11 boards. Cougar had 18 points. Derek Kennedy also had 18 points. Cougar and Ross both. Oh, no. Ross did not get a double-double. He had 9 and 11. Cougar with a double-double. Again, not great on the shooting, but we do enough in other areas. Especially turnovers. It's one battle we've been winning a lot here. Kansas losing to Memphis. Syracuse with a win. Duke beating Cincinnati on the road. No upsets elsewhere. But with 2 to play now, we've got things just about locked up. So, Cougar named as a semi-finalist for the Player of the Year award in 18th place. Got Stanford coming up. That's a very winnable game for us. It's on the road, though. They are 13-14. got a chance to get win number 25 in that game. And it looks like we are now guaranteed, yes, we are guaranteed a top 2 finish here in the regular season. And it's looking most likely that that's exactly where we'll finish unless Duke lose both of their games here to end the season. So they are still first in RPI. We are still third. Oregon is 5th, or we moved up a spot to 3rd anyway. Road games are road games. And you could always see a loss on the road. We have had a couple this season. But this phase, at this time period, I would think we're just about strong enough to see off Stanford fairly comfortably. But it's not guaranteed. Everybody's healthy. Final 2 games. If we can win both of these, I think this would be our best record entering the tournament that we've had. And we would definitely be a 1 seed. Okay, I think I saw the score, and I think it looked good. I want to say it was 84-70. Quick look at stats while this is loading. Morrison, 12.5 a game, 5.5 assists. Ross, all over these stats. Right now, we are 7th in the nation in scoring, 1st in assists, 5th in rebounds, 4th in steals, 2nd in turnovers. Even blocks is 13th. Defensively, 4th in the points we're giving up, so our defense is even better than our offense. We're winning by an average of 18 per game. Assists, 2nd in the nation in what we're allowing. Rebounds, not great. We're giving up a bit, but we're still out-rebounding our opponents by a wide margin. Part of that's because of the strength of our scoring defense. It's forcing a lot of missed shots, leading to more rebounds. Blocks per game, that one's not super high. We're giving up as much as we're taking. But steals, way lower, and that's where we're kind of winning that turnover battle, which you could see we give up 11 a game, we take 18.5 a game. Both of those are 2nd best in the nation. Combination is we have a huge turnover margin that very much favors us game after game, day by day. 87-70. I didn't quite see it right. Huge second half. We actually were down by 14 at halftime. Double-digit scoring from all of the starters. No one getting into double-double status, though, except Al Morrison with the double-double. 10 points, 11 assists. Shooting almost 50%. Plus 5 rebounds. Level on fouls. Turnovers, plus 7. Gave up 11 blocks, though. That's kind of nasty. Wake Forest, Kansas. Syracuse losing to Duke. Duke scoring 100. Boy, they are going to be tough to beat. Hopefully we don't see them until the championship game again. Hoping that we can get there and then take Duke on and hope for the best. Cincinnati, another loss. Oregon, another loss. Notre Dame, another loss. And Florida gets that one. North Carolina's been slipping a lot. 1 to play, and we've got 25 wins now. And with Duke's win, they are guaranteed the regular season conference title. And we are now guaranteed the number 2 seed in the conference tournament. But conference championships are not built on the regular season. Certainly is a factor. You got to win enough games to get into the tournament, but it's the conference tournament that determines who the conference champion is. So we've still got every opportunity to do just that. And we end the regular season with my alma mater, with Oregon. Duke gets Miami at home. I'm on the road. That's a tough game. This is a tough game. We could very well lose this one. Do I even have a scouting report for it? There it is. Very, very slight edge. But again, this game is now unimportant. We're not going up. We're not going down. I don't think it would affect our 1 seed status. Oregon is 5th in the nation at 19-9. We are 25-3. Even if they beat us, they're not moving up that far. Maybe we drop to 4th, but we have a clear top 4 teams. I don't even think the conference tournament is going to change these top 4 teams. So theoretically, we should be, regardless of what happens, we should be a 1 seed in the tournament. (86-67). Get the victory. Cougar 18 points. Derek Kennedy had 9 and 8 and 8. Almost a triple double. Certainly on watch. Memphis win. Kansas, Syracuse, Duke, Nevada over Stanford, tight game on the road. Florida losing on the road. Notre Dame squeezing out the victory against the struggling, out-of-form North Carolina team that is probably going to get knocked out of the tournament pretty early. They've lost a lot of games recently. And there you go. We lock down 2nd place, Nevada 3rd, Syracuse, Memphis, Oregon, all the way down to 8 and 8. Same with Cincinnati. Weren't they 8 and 3? Or 8 and 4. They've lost 4 straight. We've won 5 straight now. Other than Duke, we are clearly the in-form team. Still 3rd in RPI. And this will put us into that conference tournament now. First round won't be much to stop and see. Maybe our second round. Well, we're going to technically have a first round bye. So it'll be the second round that I'm speaking of there. Less worthy. We'll see what the matchup is, though. So we might step up to see semifinal. If we make it that far, obviously. Either way, it's March. Not quite ready to let the madness begin, with the conference tournament still coming up. So I know it's a day before Halloween, and in my case, it's a few days before Halloween. Recording this a couple days early. You may be hearing that little bit of noise coming from down inside the daycare, and of course I'm sure by now you've heard me mention that my wife and I own and run a daycare, and I spend part of the day down there helping out, part of the day coaching the sports teams that I coach, and then most of the rest of the day here in the office working on the channel and stuff for the business. But anyway, even though it might still be the last few days of October, we've started work for our Christmas season program that we're doing for parents, and kids are down there singing songs right now. Oh goodness, where are we? March 4th. No games right now, so we're in a hurry up and wait pattern. looking down the standings, you got Clemson, Florida State.
You have new mail.
So many teams with 10 plus losses this year. I mean, we got a lot of teams that are barely squeezing out 20 wins. I mean, while we're sitting on 26, Duke, Oklahoma, and us, only teams in the nation to do so. Utah, the only other one with more than 22. Oh, Loyola Marymount with a 25-6 record, squeezing their way into the rankings. Players declaring for the draft. Thank you. And we miss out on the finalists, but so close. Stephen Dare, small forward out of Georgia Tech, is the favorite. Long wait before we get to the Conference A tournament. Should be just about there, and yes, there it is. So first round, we've got Miami and Memphis playing head-to-head. How did those two teams luck out to get that easy matchup first? North Carolina and Oregon, a much tougher matchup with one another. Kansas and Maryland. And then Florida and Cincinnati. Cincinnati's not even ranked anymore. But look at those four, how similar they really are. Oregon, of course, has that crazy high RPI, so they've had probably the toughest schedule in the nation this season, which is why their RPI is still so high despite only being 19 and 10 overall.
You have new mail.
So Miami beats Memphis. Oregon beating North Carolina, so their woes continue. Kansas beats Maryland, and Cincinnati knocking off number 8 Florida. So there's a top team out of the equation. We're going to get Kansas in the next round, though. Duke gets Cincinnati. That's not an easy matchup either. But Miami, how is it that Miami is... Syracuse gets them, and I get Kansas? Really? Really? Bueller? Let's see, where is it? Tiebreak. These guys are all 8 and 8, aren't they? Wow, North Carolina was 7 and 9. Yeah, how did that happen? Miami 7 and 9. Kansas 8 and 8. Why would Miami go to Syracuse and I get the harder matchup when I'm the higher seed? Did Miami upset? Who did they play? Maryland? No. Who did they beat to get here? Florida. That's why. I don't know. Something tells me that I gotta scratch my head. Is it an itch? Or is it confusion? I'm sure I could figure it out. If I really cared. Either way, we're a 62% favorite in this game against Kansas. Next round, though. Next round. If we're going to watch a game, we begin with the next round. So I trust in my team. And we see what happens. 72-60 appears to be the final score. So I think we're into the semifinals now of the conference tournament.
You have new mail.
Yes, we are. 72-60. That was correct. Halftime lead, just held on through the second half. Not very many lead changes in this one, so I think we kind of took that lead early and kind of just held on to it through most of the game. Tackett took 13 shot attempts, managing just 14 points. They shot 35% from the field. We only shot 38%. -3 rebounds. Fouls was a +1. Turnovers +6 there. Again, as always, turnovers. Big story for us. Kennedy had 20 points, just 4 of 11 shooting though, but 11 of 12 from the line. So he forced the issue a lot. And it paid off for him. Morrison, 19 points. 7 of 14. Looks a lot better. far more efficient as a shooter. Jerry Smith off the bench with just 1 of 7. Out. Oregon with the upset over Nevada, at least in terms of conference standings. And Miami, not bad against Syracuse, but Syracuse moving on. Now this makes more sense. Syracuse, Duke, we get Oregon. All 4 teams in the top 10 in the nation. And we get a rematch against Oregon. Played these guys before. Slight favorites. We're going to quick play this game, as we don't have a lot of time if we're going to also get in the conference championship game. The green and green's a little hard, but we scored first, so we are going right to left. We are the lighter green, the darker green with the yellow. It's Oregon, and let me turn down the audio for you. It's way too loud. It's the only game that I have to do that on. It should be better now. And it's 5-2 early on, now 7-2, 9-2, 11-2, and we're on a bit of a run here, and yet they have the momentum, not us. Yes, that makes perfect sense. It was 11-2, and we had no momentum whatsoever. 16-10, nice three-pointer there. Jim Ross has 7 points already. Derek Kennedy has 6. I think he might have had that three-pointer. Ross is a perfect 3 for 3 right now. Only 1 rebound, though. He's off to a little bit of a slow start there. Cougar just picked up our first block of the game. Have they had any? No, it was the first block of the game, period. And we're up 24-12, doubling them up. And stretching that lead a little bit more. -4 on the rebounds, but +7 in the turnover department. 58% from the field to their 31. Massive advantage our direction, and that's why we have been right around doubling them up for the last handful of minutes. He's actually come down a slight bit, but at 34-12, it's still looking pretty good. I'm going to take... Oh, no need to, I guess. They got... Yeah, let's take a 30-second timeout. Just refocus. Lead was down to 12, and there you go. Back to 15 with the three-pointer. Kennedy now at 11 points. Ross at 14, still 6 of 6. Only 2 rebounds, and just 1 steal for him, but he's been awesome on the offensive end. Kennedy's been pretty good, too, with 13. Charles also doing pretty good. Charles Kennedy with 7 points, 3 of 4 shooting. Morrison's got 4 steals. And we've only had a few turnovers in this game, so big advantage there. As we head towards halftime, we've already hit 50. Oregon's got 32. And we look to be just flying our way towards taking this one. We are on neutral court, as it is the conference tournament, so no Matthew Knight Arena court like we would normally play on. 18-point halftime lead, and we're just gonna fly on through this half if we can maintain double-digit lead. No slowdown necessary. Free throws, we're 10 of 14. They're 6 of 11. 6 of 11 is not good for your free throws. 54%. That's Shaq territory right there. Wasn't he like a career 53% shooter or something like that? I know he had years where he was below 50%. They're 2 of 13 beyond the arc as well. That's not helping them at all. Quiet start to the second half. 5 minutes in already. Neither team has managed to put the ball through that round object very often with the net surrounding it. It's been a rough one. Still a rough one. For us, it's not hurting, though, because we lead by 18. So no need to waste timeouts. I mean, it would have been nice to get to 100, and it's looking like it's definitely not going to happen considering we scored 4 points in 9 minutes. Let's go ahead and use that timeout though. Try to do something here. Still can't score. Still can't score. Oregon sneaking back in. Finally, we make a bucket. Ooh, offensive foul? Ooh. Okay, now we're starting to wake up again. Leads back out to 17. 7.5 minutes to go. Kennedy sitting on 15 points. Ross at 18. His great shooting has slipped up a bit. Nigel Porter having a terrible day. 1 for 9. Okay, back up to 20. We're good. 4.5 minutes to go. Sit back and cruise on this one. Cougar, only 7 points on the day, but he's got 14 rebounds. Ross, still just 6, but he just made his 10th bucket and has 23 points. Definitely both of our post players have good argument on who should be player of the game. Cougar, I think, has to at least hit double-double if he's going to have any chance of that, which means ultimately Jim Ross should be the one getting it. That 10 of 13 shooting especially leading the way. Final seconds. Lead down a little bit, but it's 78, 80, 63. That's final. Quiet second half for our team, especially for 10 minutes. We scored 4 points, 6 points in 10 minutes. And got 24 the last. Duke wins against Syracuse, so this is a potential national championship matchup right here in the conference tournament final. Are we both strong enough to get to that game? And we've got an 11% chance. I'm afraid to even see it. No, let's do it. Let's do it. Have guts. Have faith. Really, Duke seems to be the only team that's out of our league right now. The best thing that could happen to us, almost clicked. Best thing that could happen to us right now is somebody knocking them off before we see them in the Final Four. Now, the fact that we're playing in the Conference A championship game means you can pretty much guarantee that 1 seed now. And I think it was already pretty much guaranteed, but reaching the conference final just confirms it. Win or lose this game. We're off to a good start though, 7-2. 10-2. Big 3-pointer there. Duke answers back though, but then again, back-to-back-to-back 3-pointers between our two teams. And it's 13-5, 13-7 now. Morrison, 7 points already in this one. Nigel Porter on the bench with 2 fouls already in this one. We only have 3 as a team. That lead is gone. It's evaporated. And Duke leads 14-13. We answer back with 5 quick points, though. We've learned how to put up points in a hurry, but Duke is just so tough. Can't hold them at bay for long, and they've got the lead again. 2021. Got the lead back here, halfway through the first half of the game. I would love to see college basketball go to a 4-quarter system. Why not? It's essentially just a timeout. It changes nothing otherwise. But it's so much easier to follow 4 quarters than 2 halves. 2 lengthy halves. 28-29. I mean, it's not like you would need to... You don't even necessarily need to change your 7-10 bonus double bonus rule anyway. I mean, you could just play 2 quarters and use that rule accordingly over the 2 quarters instead of each quarter having its own rule. 33-37. In fact, that's exactly how it works for the varsity middle school team that I coach. We play 4 quarters, 4 10-minute quarters, and we use the 7-10 bonus double bonus. Trailing by 4 at the end of the half. Rebounding looking good, +6. Turnovers, though, not looking good. -4 in that department. Field goal percentage, we are not doing well there. And we've only had 4 free throws. They've had 7. 3-pointers, though, keeping us in this game. 7 for 12. But it's also been a strength for them, a bit anyway. 5 for 14. 5 for 13 anyway in the first half is pretty solid. But they come out and open the second half quickly with a 3-pointer. 2 3-pointers. And now we're struggling to keep pace. 40-45. Big dunk there helps us out. Gives us a little bit of momentum. We're really struggling to pick up any momentum here against Duke. Every time we build a little bit, they counter right back and shut it down. But we have a lead here with 15 to play in this conference championship game. Big 3-pointer there on top from Morrison, who is absolutely on fire. He's shooting 7 for 10. He's only got 3 assists today, but he's got 20 points. Cougar now into double digits. Ross sitting on 9 and 5. Cougars also got 5 rebounds, so those guys are both doing a fair bit. Derek Kennedy helping out with 5 rebounds and 4 assists, but only 3 points on 1 of 7 shooting today. That hurts. That definitely hurts. If you're going to beat Duke, it's going to take him a lot better than that. He finally gets his second make. But we are up 10 right now, as we are absolutely lighting Duke up at the moment. 10 to play, 10-point lead. Momentum's gone. We get 1 free throw there, though. There we go. It's back on. +11. Slow down a little bit now. 7.5 to play. Duke in possession. Down in the block. Kick it out to the corner. 3's missed. And now we're going to work it down at the other end. And from the elbow, we get the make. And it's 68-55. But Duke comes down early in the shot clock and gets off their score along with another right after. Would have liked to have taken a timeout there, but by the time I reacted to it, it was a little too late. Let's take a timeout now, though. So we've got 2 left for the game. 5.5 to play. 6-point lead. We missed that shot, but we get the rebound. Here we miss again. Get the offensive rebound with the putback and score to go 71-63. First one to break the 70 barrier. Long range 2. I hate that shot. Whew, long 3 there. 5-point game, but we answer quickly back just outside the elbow. It's shot, rebound. We get it down into the block, but we kick it back out and then turn it over. Poor choice. You got the ball in the block already in a one-on-one situation and don't take the shot. And then we turn it over after going down into the paint. It looks like that ball was stolen. 3 minutes to play, and it's a 5-point game. I have not talked to the refs at all. Kind of curious to see. Let's take a timeout. 2 minutes. 5 points. Come on. We need a bucket here. This is an important possession. And Duke defending really well, forcing a bad shot and getting the rebound and coming back and answering at the other end quickly. Oh, big response there as Cougar gets that one to fall. Fouled on the 3, but it's 1 and 1, and we miss the free throw. 40 seconds left. 40 seconds. They send us to the line. 30 seconds. We're up 7. 20 seconds left. I'm going to use my last timeout. 17, 16, 13. The 3-pointer! 80-70. We are going to win the conference championship. We've done it. Conference A champions. Oh, yeah. Oh, what a season. Is that enough to give us the number 1 overall seed, or will Duke hang on to that? I wouldn't be surprised if Duke keeps that, but it might be enough to overcome Oklahoma, depending on what they did in their tournament. Win or lose. Win, if they won, probably, maybe. If they lost, I would think it would be enough to get us the second number 1 seed. Big second half. Okay, on to the selection show. Let's go ahead and wrap this episode up with that selection show. Pretty much guaranteed a number 1 seed. Well, no, not pretty much. We are guaranteed. We are going to be a number 1 seed. We have the best record in the nation at 29-3. No one is as good as we are right now. Duke might be better, but we have a better record. Half game better. Better than Oklahoma. Definitely better than Utah. We could be the number 1 overall. We'll see. Playing games first. And we'll see who that first number 1 seed is. Should be next. Ready? It's Duke. Duke still got the number 1 overall seed. They are the favorite. They are the favorite. We might have beat them this time. We might have beat them earlier. They're still the favorite when it comes down to it. Syracuse, a 2 seed here. Ooh. And Nevada, 3 seed. And Pitt. Holy cow, that is a tough region. Even North Carolina as a 7 seed. Okay, we get the second number 1 seed. It's going to be the St. Louis region, not close to home. But we get Stony Brook in the first round, just 18-13. That'll be a cakewalk. Oregon, the 2 seed on our side. Oh, I like that. Kansas, the 3 seed. We could beat both of those teams. I like our region much better at this point. Charlotte. We could be well on our way to a Final Four. Clemson. Cincinnati, that's a little bit tougher there. And Marquette, 7-10. And our second round match will be against the winner of Iowa State and UNLV, assuming we can take care of business in the first game. Oklahoma, the third number 1 seed, so we did jump them for that. They get Portland State, our rival. There's Florida. And final number 1 seed, of course, goes to Utah. Texas Tech, Indiana, Southern Cal. That is the easiest region by far. Where's the competition in that region? Boy, Duke's got a tough region, though. Duke does have a difficult region, so Duke has every opportunity to get knocked off. If Duke is knocked out before coming out of the Final Four, before getting to the Final Four anyway, we've got a chance. We've got a definite chance to win the championship this year. That would be something. We're 29-3 right now. We're on the verge of a 30-win season. We end up with a 13-3 conference record. We're now ranked number 2. Our RPI is number 2. Even though it hasn't updated here. It has updated here. Duke's still number 1, but we just knocked them off to win our first Conference A title. Pretty awesome. That's going to do it for this episode, though. Be sure to smash that like button in honor of our first Conference A title. And let's hope that we can translate this into a very deep run, at least to the Final Four. Looking at our region, I think we very much can. and should emerge out of that region and into the Final Four, and then it'll all depend from there. Duke, I'm still worried about them. Definitely still worried about them. Even Utah and Oklahoma won't be easy, but I think just about everybody else is beatable. That's reassuring. I hope. We'll see. See you next time. Bye for now.